NoDQ.com.
Greetings to everyone out there in the NoDQ galaxy. Welcome to a NoDQ video right here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel, youtube.com/AaronRiftNoDQ. If you enjoyed today's video, please share it, tell a friend, check out NoDQ.com/shirts, pick up a shirt. Great way to show your support for the website and channel. With that being said, let's get down to your questions. First one today comes from Jason Bush. How low do the ratings actually have to go to force WWE to make real booking changes? Whatever USA Network and Fox Network next year are not happy with, and I don't know what that number is, it's going to have to get pretty low. I would think that Raw viewership numbers would have to go under 2 million for the networks to really start becoming concerned about WWE. As long as WWE can continue drawing 2.5 to 3 million people for Raw and 2.2, 2.3 million for SmackDown, I think the networks are going to be happy. They will be satisfied with that, and business will continue on as usual. It does seem, however, that ratings are dropping, viewership is dropping, but then again, there are other ways people are watching television these days, and WWE still draws higher numbers than most cable programs. So there's still some value as far as WWE is concerned, and clearly the stockholders are not worried about the falling television viewership. It's not like the previous era where TV ratings were a big deal, and if you had one low rating, Vince would flip out and the next week he would return, or there would be some major storyline. Those days are long gone. WWE has so many other areas to draw in revenue, and like I said, by cable network standards, Raw and SmackDown still do big numbers even when business is down. This next one comes from Daza. Should Ring of Honor and Impact or All Japan Pro Wrestling and New Japan merge together to compete with WWE so WWE goes back to its best like the Attitude Era and the 2018 version? But the 2018 version. I think that is unrealistic for something like that to happen. A merger would be really interesting, and it would pretty much be the only realistic chance unless a billion-dollar corporation wants to invest in wrestling all of a sudden. Unless you have a lot of cooperation with all these different entities, it's not going to work. You're going to have the same problems that WCW had. You're going to have egos. You're going to have people working against each other instead of working together. The thing is about WWE, it's the McMahon family. It's Vince. It's Triple H. It's Stephanie. They are the bosses. They are in control. If you were to merge Ring of Honor and Impact, let's say, how does that even work? Who's in charge? Who decides what is done creatively, financially? There's so many different issues by merging it together that you have to address. It would be really difficult to have everybody on the same page and be able to focus on presenting a true alternative to WWE. And even if they do that, even if they can all work together, can they still come up with something to the point where WWE is going to reinvent the brand like a new Attitude Era? I don't think so. Look at TNA. TNA tried in 2010, but WWE really did not do a whole lot. They had Bret Hart on the first night that Impact went on Monday Nights Live, but beyond that, WWE really did not consider Impact to be competition, despite Impact going on Monday nights. So it's really going to take a lot, and I think that question, that's a lot of wishful thinking right there. But as far as a what if goes, never say never, but I think the odds are against something like that happening and being able to succeed to the point where WWE would do a full-blown brand change. Got this one here from Go Bills Go, Y2 Indian. Do you see Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar having one more match at WrestleMania 35 just so Roman Reigns could get his win back after losing at WrestleMania 34? Why do you do this? Why do you even bring up the idea? I hope nobody from WWE is watching this video. I really don't want them having any ideas put in their heads. It could happen. I don't know if it will or not, but I would not rule anything out at this point. I would not rule WWE booking yet another Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar match, since Roman basically needed Strowman's help to win at SummerSlam. WWE could argue, hey, let's do one more match. There must be a winner. No outside interference, no DQ, no count out. Maybe a Hell in a Cell match. Who knows? But I know personally, I do not want to see another Roman Reigns Brock Lesnar match. No interest in seeing that happen again. But realistically, I think there's always a possibility of that happening. Got this one here from Chris Cahill. Hey Aaron, with Kofi Kingston setting the record for the longest tag team title in history, do you feel he is one of the most underlooked mid-carders today despite what he had accomplished in his career? And do you think he will go into the Hall of Fame? You know my answer for the Hall of Fame by now. Everyone at home, say it with me. If Coco can go in, everybody can go in. All right. So Kofi Kingston is definitely one of those guys that has been a true workhorse for WWE. He has been with the company now for a decade. He has been consistent. He has provided some very memorable moments, whether it was the boom drop on Randy Orton at Madison Square Garden, or the Royal Rumble spots, or all the moments with the New Day. Kofi Kingston has given fans a lot of entertainment. He's great on the mic. He's funny. He's a great in-ring performer. He's got the attributes. So yeah, Kofi Kingston, he might be one of the best guys to never be WWE champion. And yes, he will absolutely be in the Hall of Fame one day. WWE has a huge highlight reel, and Kofi's been very good to the company. So unless something happens in his personal life that's very unfortunate, I think it's pretty much 100% that he goes in. Got this one here from James. And speaking of the New Day, when New Day eventually split, would you like to see another faction start from it? For example, Woods and Titus Worldwide, or Big E with Heavy Machinery when they get called up. No. If WWE breaks up the New Day and just pairs them up with other people, don't break them up. Only break up the New Day if you are going to push all three of them as singles stars. You change it up with them. You don't have them go from one faction to another. I think that is the kiss of death for those guys. You do that, you put Xavier Woods with Titus Worldwide, he's done. You're gonna ruin Xavier Woods. With all due respect to Titus and Apollo Crews. Xavier, if he goes off on his own, turn him heel. Let him be on his own. Let him do his own thing. Don't put him with another group. And same thing with Big E. I think that would be a very significant mistake to do that. You might as well just keep New Day as a group if you're even thinking about putting them with other people. Got this one here from Life of Beto. Undertaker decides to retire next year and have a last match at WrestleMania 35, passing the torch to a new talent. Who would you choose and why? Aleister Black, Tommaso Ciampa, or Velveteen Dream? Definitely not Ciampa because of the size. I know people love Ciampa. I think he's great, but Ciampa beating Undertaker, even though Undertaker is broken down and old, don't buy it. Velveteen Dream, love the guy, but I would not go with him either. I think Aleister Black, of the NXT stars, of the choices you mentioned, I definitely think he is the best one if you're going to have somebody beat The Undertaker. But I sense WWE's not going to, I don't want to use the word waste, but I feel like if WWE's going to do another Undertaker match at WrestleMania, they're going to put Undertaker in there with somebody who is already established. Because you have Undertaker only appearing once a year, and you want the biggest match possible out of Undertaker. That's why Undertaker did the thing with Cena, why he wrestled Roman Reigns, why he wrestled all these big matches since the streak ended. Even Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt was already established on the main roster. Looking at guys right now that Undertaker could potentially face that are already on the main roster that could potentially beat him and get the rub, that's a great question. And maybe AJ Styles, the Phenom versus the Phenomenal One. If it's not going to be AJ versus Bryan, that would be a great send-off match for The Undertaker. That's what I would do, at least. If it was me running WWE and I was going to pick somebody on the main roster to face Undertaker at WrestleMania, it would be AJ Styles. Got this one here from James. Hey Aaron, which would you rather see as Undisputed Era's first pay-per-view match in Rivalry? Versus AJ, Gallows, and Anderson, or versus The Shield? I'd love to see them interfere and cost The Shield a big match and have a 6-man at Mania, but I'd love to see Cole versus Styles too. I think it doesn't really matter. I'd love to see the Undisputed Era versus The Shield. However, you have to do it right. I just want to see the Undisputed Era come in and be booked strong right off the bat. Just like The Shield was. The Shield came in, The Shield was dominant from the very beginning. And that's why they got over, because they were winning matches night in and night out. My fear is that WWE would not have Undisputed Era go over The Shield. I just don't see WWE doing that. So I would think it would be a lot better to have them against Anderson and Gallows at this point. They could obviously make more of an impact by beating The Shield, but realistically, come on now, is WWE really going to have the Undisputed Era go over Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose? I would be very shocked if that ever happened. Of course it could, but I think it's highly unlikely in all likelihood. Got this one here from Jared J. Smith. Hey Aaron, if you were to make a Mount Rushmore of underrated WWE talent from over the years, who would be on it? Interesting question. Nice little variety from the typical Mount Rushmore question. How about the guy I mentioned earlier, Kofi Kingston? He would be on it. Cesaro, arguably the most underrated performer ever in WWE. How about William Regal, a guy that fans have been very high on for many years and felt like he never really got his big moment in the spotlight. Regal could be on that list. Shelton Benjamin, another guy that people have always given high praise towards. So there you go. I'd go with those 4. Got this one here from the Anime Fans. Don't know if you got this question already. If CM Punk's pipe bomb never happened and the network still happens, do you believe WWE would have not gone forward with NXT being broadcast? That is a very interesting question. See, I think like CM Punk's pipe bomb was definitely a very memorable moment, but I feel like the wheels were already in motion before that. Daniel Bryan was starting to get hot. CM Punk had gotten hot years earlier, and I think it's the overall success, not just the pipe bomb, but the overall success of CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. I think that's what led to WWE putting more of an emphasis on NXT, signing more independent wrestlers, and that whole concept really snowballing. I think it's the combination of Punk and Bryan and not any one particular segment. But the pipe bomb, no doubt, did a lot for CM Punk, and I'm sure it helped. It definitely helped change the perception of the indie wrestlers, and when everyone saw what CM Punk was able to do, that definitely opened some doors, I'm sure. Got this one here from B. Hill. Hey Aaron, is Jay Lethal ever getting a legitimate shot in WWE? His in-ring work is obviously fantastic, and his mic work, either as himself or as an impersonator, is top-notch. Interesting question about Jay Lethal, which I think I have commented on before. Every couple of years, somebody asks, is WWE going to sign Jay Lethal? I really don't know the story there with him and WWE. I think he's a very good wrestler. I think he's entertaining, obviously with Black Machismo, but the problem with Jay Lethal, as far as I'm concerned, is that what are people going to remember most about him? They're going to remember the imitation of Randy Savage. I feel like if Jay Lethal had somehow taken the Macho Man impression and kind of morphed it into his own thing with his own outlandish outfits and just made his own character instead of being an impression, I think there would have been a better chance of him getting signed by WWE. I think the fact that he just would basically do a straight up imitation of Savage, which he's great at, he's fantastic, but it's not unique enough for him to really break out and be a major star in WWE. WWE is not going to give him a serious push as a Macho Man impersonator. And that's what I feel people will remember him best by at this point. As good as he is in the ring, I think that's going to be his legacy unless he really evolves his character and figures out a way to take that personality and charisma from Randy Savage and the impressions and turn it into his own thing. That'll wrap it up for this edition of NoDQ Video. Thank you all for watching and supporting NoDQ.com as well as the YouTube channel. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com for coverage of the Super Showdown coming up, and I will see you guys next time.